All right, so let's get started. When you first open the Djay Pro AI app, you are going to see something that looks like this. This is classic mode. This is meant to emulate the old school 2 turntables and a mixer. So why would you use this mode? What is this mode best for? And what do I use this mode for? Well, I'm going to tell you. So number one would be for scratching. So this mode is good for scratching because you have the largest amount of surface area on the jog wheels. So the jog wheel is the largest, so it makes it easier to scratch. And then also in this mode, if you press this button with these squares, you could get to the sampler. So when I'm doing a scratch routine, a lot of times I like to add in a sample, something like this. That wasn't the best example, but I like to add the samples at the end of the scratches to make it sound a little bit better. And then having them right there makes it really easy. So this is the mode that I use for scratching. And also one more thing, which is a transition trick. So if you get rid of the middle section so that it's the biggest jog wheel that you see, which is going to be like this with no waveforms or no mixer in the middle, we get this little button here. And what it is it's like an on-off button. And what I use it for is if I'm doing a large BPM to small BPM transition. So if I'm doing like a 128 BPM down to like 95, instead of going to the settings, you could go to the settings, go to general, go all the way down and set the stop time like at 3 or 3.5. But you could also just press this button like this.
Okay. One, two, three.
And it slows down. It's just like on a real turntable. If you like unplug the power, it will slowly go down. And then you could also press it to slowly go up. So when I'm DJing, unless I'm doing that trick or I'm scratching, I will not be in this mode because you don't get as much information. You don't have access to all the features that the app offers. The mode that you will find me using 99% of the time is going to be pro mode. So to get the different modes, you press the middle button up here. Now, this app is different than other DJ apps for the iPad because we have these different views. So it's basically like having separate apps, and it's because there is a limited space to see things on the iPad. So separating it this way makes it so we could get the most out of the app. So the next is going to be pro mode. Now, if you are used to using software such as Serato and other popular DJ software, this is the most familiar looking mode that we are going to that is offered in the app. So this is the mode where we have the most information, the most stuff we could do, the most access to all of the great features in the app. So starting out, we have these great vertical waveforms. A lot of DJs are used to the horizontal. These are horizontal waveforms. A lot of DJs are used to this style waveforms from using Serato and other DJ software. And then we also get these jog wheels. Now, these jog wheels will do the exact same thing as the large jog wheels on Pro mode, except the only difference is they're a little bit smaller. So when it comes to scratching, different DJ controllers are going to be, you're going to have to scratch a little bit different. With the Numark DJ To Go to Touch, it's really small, so you have less surface area. So the same movement on a smaller jog wheel is going to be more precise. So with the smaller jog wheel, if you move it a little, it's going to do a lot compared to a bigger one. So yeah, you could definitely scratch with these jog wheels, but it's a lot easier to do with the classic mode like I showed you. But if you need to do any type of beat matching and stuff like that, you could use these jog wheels, or if you want to do like a spin back or something like that, these jog wheels work great. And then now we have this full mixer mode down here. So with this middle button, if you press this button, like the mixer button, once, now you get a huge view of your waveforms. So if you're used to using Tractor and more waveform heavy software, then this will look familiar to you. Also, if you really want to get a big view of the waveform, and then you get the mixer over here. But if you press it again, now we are in this screen. And then here on each side, each deck, we have Neuromix, our Q section, we have loops, bounces, all that great stuff, effects, and then we have a mixer. But what's funny is you could actually have two mixers. So this middle section here is the mixer. So it's volume for each side, a filter, and these little knobs are for our gain, but the app has a great auto gain, so I don't think a lot of people use it. But then they did something really smart, which was if you press this EQ button down here, now we have a 3-band EQ, well, 4 if you include the filter. We still have our volumes, even though they're a little bit thinner, and we could still see our levels. So we have all of that. So why would you be able to have two mixers? Well, because you could also use other modes. So now I have a mixer in the middle for both sides, and then on the left side, I have my Qs right there, and then I have my FX. So now I could use my FX, I could use the mixer, and I could use the volume slider. I can basically do anything from this screen. Whenever I use this screen, I just simply check this EQ just to have the extra EQ mixer. And if you want to get really fancy, you could even change it to a Neuromix EQ. In this mode, you also have the biggest view of your playlists, and your music sources. So you have this whole view down here, and then all the way to the right, you could access your auto mix, you could access matching, you could do your history, and you have everything there. So you get a much bigger view of your library than you get over here in classic mode. If we go to our library, we just get this little strip here. So if you're organizing your playlist, if you want to find something that's hard to find, Pro mode is going to be the best mode because now we have the biggest view of our music sources. And if you use Tidal or Beatport, it's basically like being in the Tidal app itself, and you have so much access to it. And now another thing you could do is over here on the pads, you have the full sampler and the full looper. So whenever I'm doing a sample or looper routine, I don't use the looper mode, because on the looper mode, you have much more limited. You can't see your waveforms, you can't see your jog wheels, and the only difference is these volume faders down here. So if I'm doing anything with the looper, with the sampler, I just use Pro mode because I have everything I need up here, and then I have the looper and the sampler down here. And also don't forget that you could always use Neuromix with these little ends over here if you want to simply just go all vocals or all instrumentals. So when I'm DJing with Djay Pro AI, whether I have a controller or no controller, I am going to be in Pro mode 90% of the time. Classic mode is only for scratching. Now, looper mode, I already explained to you, it's just a bigger view of your looper. I think this is the biggest waste of a mode because, like I said, you could do the same exact thing in Pro mode and still see your jog wheels. Auto mix, unless I'm driving in my car and listening to auto mix or something like that, or just like at home or at the gym or something, I always keep it in Pro mode, and then in Pro mode, you could press the middle button and then start an auto mix right there. So there really is no need for the auto mix section. It's more like Spotify or like a regular music streaming app. And if you want to use it like that, you can. But this is where you could access the way to change the transitions and get a little more custom with your auto mix. So that's when I'll use this. But besides that, I'll just set auto mix in Pro mode, or I'll usually set it in classic mode. If I'm doing a gig where I have a projector or a TV connected, then I will have auto mix on, and then I will have the TV mirroring in the screen. And then in classic mode, in any mode, you could actually see all the transitions being done in real time. So it's like watching a DJ on the screen, and I just think it's cool. All right, so one deck mode, I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't use it. It's just a bigger view of your library and a single deck. They say it's for setting your cue points and stuff like that, but I just use Pro Mode for that. 4-deck mode. I almost never DJ with more than 2 decks, but what I will do is I will keep a scratched sample on the 4th deck, and then have one of my if I have an extra controller, 2 controllers plugged in, I'll have that ready so I could add scratching on top of the mixes of 2 songs playing. And then on deck 3, I'll have my backup song. So the backup song will be a song I know everybody's gonna like, and then that's just there in case I start playing a song that nobody's likes. I could just switch over to the song that I have there for the spare one. And then video mode obviously is for video mixing, but if you have it connected, if you have your iPad connected to a TV or a projector, you could use any of the modes. You could use Pro Mode, and your video will still be playing in full screen on the screen that you're using. So I never really DJ in video mode, but you could use it to set like pictures and then to change the visualizers and stuff like that. So 99% of the time I use Pro Mode. 1% of the time I'll use Classic because it looks cool and also for scratching. So let me know in the comments down below what mode you use when you DJ with this great app. And let me know if you have any specific questions. And if you found value in this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.